Okay, uh, this is the remaining questions from your chapter review. We're starting here at question 13. Questions 1 to 12 are already uploaded. Starting at question 13, it says verify the solution shown on each number line is correct. If a number line is incorrect, explain why. So the first thing I would do here is solve the inequality. So we have negative 5x is greater than or equal to negative 40. I would divide both sides by the coefficient. Because I divided by the coefficient, which is negative, I flip my sign. And I have all values less than or equal to 8. This number line says all values equal to 8 or greater, which is the opposite of what that says. So therefore, it is incorrect. And why? Because they've probably forgot to flip their inequality sign when they divided by negative 5. In the second example, I'm going to divide both sides by a positive 4 coefficient, and all values less than negative 2.5 is my solution. Therefore, this is the correct answer because it is all values less than 2.5 open boundary point because it does not include the negative 2.5 itself. Question 14 says Tim earns $14.50 an hour working for his parents' business during the summer. His goal is to earn at least $600 a week. How many hours will Tim need to work each week to achieve his goal? So first thing we do when we have a story problem is we decide what our variable will be. Since it's asking for how many hours, we're going to make x the how many hours. You could also make h a more appropriate variable. If he makes $14.50 an hour, he makes 14.5 or 14.50 multiplied by the number of hours. And this has to be at least $600. So this has to be greater than or equal to $600. Because if it was just greater than 600, that means he can't earn 600. But at least means 600 is one of the values he can earn. Once we have that written, solve it by dividing both by 14.5. And the amount of hours he needs to work per week has to be greater than or equal to 600 divided by 14. That's not the right number. Oh, that's not the right number. 14.5. 41.37 hours. But since you can't work 41.37 hours, 41 will not be enough. They won't have enough money. But if he works 42, then all values greater than or equal to 42 hours is the correct solution. Or, therefore, any hours, 42, sorry, therefore, 42 hours or more will be enough. As you can tell, I have a cold. Question 15 says Danielle is treating her friends to ice cream. What a lovely girl. Each scoop of ice cream costs $2.25. She wants to spend less than $30. She's like, I'm not spending 30, but I'll spend less than 30. How many scoops of ice cream can she buy? How many scoops of ice cream? So therefore, H or X equals number of scoops. Because I'm looking for. I don't know it. At 225 multiplied by the number of scoops will be the cost. And this has to be less than $30. Right? If she said she wants to spend less than 30, which means $30 can't be the amount that she spends. There's your inequality. Divide by 2.25. And she could buy less than 30 divided by 2.25. 13 and a third. Is it possible to buy 13 and a third scoops? No. But if she buys less than 13 scoops, so therefore, she can buy up to 13 scoops. Up to 13 scoops. Question 16 says verify whether the number line shows the correct solution for this inequality. If the number line is incorrect, explain why. So the first thing I'm going to do is solve it. I'm going to subtract 11 from both sides. I'm going to get negative 3x is greater than 6. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. And any value, flip the sign. because I divided by -3, -2. So all values less than -2. This has all values greater than -2. Is the number I incorrect? Yes, it is. What did they do? They probably forgot to flip their sign. Question 17, verify whether all values greater than or equal to 5 is the correct solution for this inequality. So if you take your inequality, what I would do on your test is solve it. Now, subtracting 6x from both sides is not wrong. But subtracting 4x from both sides allows you to keep a positive coefficient. And a positive coefficient is important because you don't have to flip your inequality sign. All values greater than or equal to 5 is your solution. And if I look at this solution and this solution, most would be like, I don't know if they're the same thing, but they are. Because if I was to write both of those in word form, I would say all numbers greater than or equal to 5. That's what they both say. This says that, and so does this. Question 18, solve each inequality and verify the solution. Add 5 to both sides. A third of x is less than 15. Multiply both sides by 3. All values less than 45 is your solution. To verify, substitute any number that's less than 45 in there. I'll choose 30. 30 divided by 3 is 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 is less than 10, so my solution is verified. Second example, I'm going to subtract 9x from both sides. I get 30 is greater than 4x. I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and I'm going to get 7.5 is greater than x, or all values less than 7.5. I'm not going to verify because it takes too long, but that's the solution. Next one, I'm still going to subtract 3x from both sides, even though it leaves me with 0. So I have 0 is less than or equal to 5x plus 5. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides, and I'll get -5 is less than or equal to 5x. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 5 to get -1 is less than or equal to x, or x is greater than or equal to -1. Question D. You know what? Normally I would subtract 4x from both sides, and that's probably what you should have done. But for poops and giggles, I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. That's going to leave me with 8 is less than -x minus 12. And then I'm going to add 12 to both sides. I'm going to get 20 is less than -x. And finally, the -1 coefficient means I have to divide both sides by -1. And because I did so, I have to flip my sign. So my solution for this is all values less than -20. If you had back here, if you had subtracted 4x from both sides, your coefficient would have remained positive, and you wouldn't have had to flip your sign. Here I'm going to add 3x to both sides. 17 is less than or equal to 10x plus 3. Subtract 3 from both sides. 14 is less than or equal to 10x. And divide both sides by 10. You get all values greater than or equal to 1.4. And our last one involves distributive property as well as variables on both sides. Expand using distributive property. Get rid of the variable on this, the least amount. So I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides, keep my coefficient positive. Subtract 35 from both sides. That's a weird one. Is greater than 24x. And divide both sides by 24. All values less than or equal to 27/24, or -1 and 3/24, or most appropriately, -1 and 1/8. all values less than negative 118. 19, a student committee is planning a sports banquet. The cost of the dinner is $450 plus $24 a person. The committee needs to keep the total cost for the dinner under $2,000. I'm assuming if it came in at $2,000, they'd be okay, but it does say under $2,000, so we need to make sure we use the appropriate sign. How many people can attend? So X equals the number of people. At $24 a person, algebraically, it would be 24 multiplied by the number of people, plus the flat fee of $450. This cost must be less than $2,000. Once we have it written, we'll subtract the constant from both sides to give us 24x is less than 1550. We will divide both sides by 24. And 1550 divided by 24 equals 64.583, 64.583, repeating. Since that's the number of people, it has to be less than 64 and a half people. And since there's no such thing as a half people, all values less than 65 is going to, or 64, excuse me, is going to be our solution. Or therefore, 64 or less people will keep the cost under 2,000. And our last question gives us Greg. Greg is considering two different plans for music downloads, which back in the day you actually had to pay for a musical download instead of Spotify and whatever else you have today. How many tracks purchased would make plan A the better option? So plan A, to be the better option, must be cheaper than plan B. First thing I'm going to write down before I even start thinking about this. X will equal the number of tracks downloaded. Or for those of you who don't know what a track is, it's a song. 97 cents per track. So plan A will be 97 cents per track plus $10 a month. Plan B will be 99 cents per track plus $9 a month. I have this wrong. Let's go back and do this again. I misread it. A is 99 cents per track. Got it. $10 a month. Got it. But it's also $15 a month for downloading songs to an MP3 player, which you have no idea what it is. This one's $144 per year. So what I need to do is figure out, first of all, how much the downloading songs onto your MP3 is going to be. So it's $15 plus, or times, excuse me, for 12 months. It's $180 a year, 180 per year. E per unit's equal. Plus $180 for MP3 downloads. B will be 99 cents per track plus $9 a month. Oh my God, let's get this one wrong again. I screwed up again. So we have to do everything by the year. So it's $180 per year for this. And since this is per month, this is going to be $180 for the year too. So $120. So altogether, our constant will be the 180 and the 120, which means it's a $300 constant for that one. Over here, $9 a month per year, $9 times 12. $9 times 12 is 81. Oh my God, I can't even do that in my head. 9 times 12. My brain is really sick today, 108. $108 for that, plus 144. Those that we add together would be 244, 252. So there's our two expressions. When will B be cheaper than A is the question. So if A is going to be less than B, then this expression must be less than this expression. Start by isolating the variable. Get it on one side. I'm going to remove 0.97x from both sides. 300 must be less than 0.02x plus 252. Subtract 252 from both sides. I get 48 must be less than 0.02x. And once I divide both sides by 0.02, 48 divided by 0.02, 2400. So any value greater than 2,400 musical downloads a year. Therefore, any value of 2,400 or more downloads per year. Or more. Sorry, more than 24 per year. Makes A a better deal.